A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In an historic move that is sure to spark heated debates across the nation, President Donald Trump signed an executive order on Thursday aimed at significantly reducing the role of the federal Department of Education. This decisive action fulfills a long-standing campaign promise to his conservative base and marks a pivotal shift in the landscape of American education policy. Surrounded by students, educators, and supporters in the East Room of the White House, Trump declared, "We're going to return education, very simply, back to the states where it belongs." The signing ceremony came on the heels of the Department of Education announcing substantial staff cuts, with nearly half of its workforce expected to be eliminated. This initiative is part of Trump's broader strategy to reshape the federal government just 2 months into his presidency. Education has long been a polarizing issue in the United States, with conservatives advocating for school choice policies that favor private institutions, while liberal advocates push for robust public school funding and programs. These divisions have only deepened in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic, a point Trump emphasized throughout his campaign. The president's executive order signals a desire to transfer most education decisions to state and local school boards, a move that has raised alarms among liberal education advocates who fear for the future of public education. Trump has explicitly stated his intention for Education Secretary Linda McMahon to eventually eliminate her own position, underscoring the administration's goal of drastically downsizing the Department of Education. The executive order aims to streamline the department's functions, focusing primarily on managing student loans, Pell Grants, and resources for special education. "We're going to shut it down and shut it down as quickly as possible," Trump asserted, dismissing the department as ineffective. While Republicans currently control both chambers of Congress, achieving the 60 Senate votes needed to fully eliminate the department will require bipartisan support, particularly from Democrats. During the signing ceremony, Trump suggested that Congress might eventually vote on the complete dissolution of the department, a prospect that has already drawn sharp criticism from Democrats. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer labeled the executive order a tyrannical power grab and decried it as one of the most destructive actions Trump has undertaken. Joining Trump at the event were prominent Republican governors, including Greg Abbott of Texas and Ron DeSantis of Florida, both of whom have expressed support for the initiative. The Department of Education currently oversees approximately 100,000 public schools and 34,000 private schools across the nation, but over 85% of public school funding originates from state and local governments. The federal government plays a crucial role in providing grants to underfunded schools and supporting programs such as special education and arts initiatives. Additionally, the department manages a staggering $1.6 trillion in student loans, critical for millions of Americans seeking higher education. Critics of the executive order argue that dismantling the department could jeopardize essential funding for low-income schools and undermine civil rights protections for students. Trump's administration, however, contends that returning control of education to states will foster competition and ultimately improve educational outcomes. The move has been met with approval from conservative organizations, including the Heritage Foundation, which has long advocated for the dismantling of the Department of Education. They hailed the executive order as a significant step toward achieving that goal. Historically, the federal government has maintained a limited role in education, with only about 13% of funding for primary and secondary schools coming from federal sources. However, federal funding is often vital for schools serving economically disadvantaged populations and students with disabilities. Trump's administration has already made significant cuts to various government agencies, and the Education Department is no exception. With McMahon at the helm, the department has already seen a drastic reduction in staff and resources, raising concerns about its ability to fulfill its remaining functions effectively. The White House has indicated that while the department will undergo significant downsizing, it will retain oversight of critical functions such as student loans and grants for low-income students. Yet, the specifics of how these responsibilities will be managed in a greatly diminished department remain unclear. As the nation grapples with the implications of this sweeping executive order, one thing is certain: the future of education in the United States is poised for a dramatic transformation. The decision to dismantle the Department of Education has ignited fierce debates about the role of federal oversight in education, the balance of power between state and federal governments, and the potential impact on students across the country. As Congress prepares to respond to this unprecedented move, the stakes have never been higher for the future of American education. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.